All right, everybody, thank you for stopping by. So this is volume 3 of my wish list for Predecessor, or things that I want added to Predecessor. Before we get into the video, I just ask that you guys like the video and subscribe if you haven't. I appreciate any support I get on these videos. And be sure to comment your wish list or what you think about my wish list. And I'll be sure to read every comment that comes through. And if there's one I really like that I think should be added, I'll add it to a video and give you a shout out in the video. Anyways, without further ado, let's jump into the first thing. So this one is pretty straightforward. I think it'd be fun if they had tournaments that they do regularly, whether there was a prize or not. I just think it'd be fun to have like teams of 5 just get together and then have a tournament and just play to have fun. And if there is like a prize at the end, like cool. If not, then it's just kind of fun to do a tournament anyways. And I think if they were adding something like that, I think it'd be kind of fun. I also feel like that it'd be really good for getting into the esports arena. I realize that the game isn't even close to being anywhere near going to esports, but I just feel like it'd be getting more attention towards the game. And if they did have a way to move forward with that, they'd already have people that had teams and they've already done like tournaments and stuff and playing with it. So I just think that'd be kind of fun and just kind of good for the game overall. Also, just a side note, if you guys are interested in me hosting some kind of tournament, be sure to let me know. And I just thought, like, even if the custom games thing doesn't work, because I know they've added custom games, but I haven't really looked at it at all. I don't know how it works or anything like that, or there's any limitations to it. But I do know, like, some tournaments have done where you just play with randoms and then they count, like, your score, like how many kills you get, your deaths, like takeaway points. We just, like, find a different way to track points if we can't figure out the custom games. But I just thought it'd be kind of fun. And I don't know, maybe have like an entry fee and then have a total prize pool. I just think it'd be kind of fun. So let me know in the comments if that's something you'd be interested in. Anyways, let's move on to the next point. So this one is an idea I've stolen from Paladins, I'll be honest. But what I mean by this is when you're like in the character selection, they should have like a phase afterwards where you can swap roles and or characters, or even like during. Because there's a lot of times where like you're choosing the role and you don't really have time to like discuss it, and someone will be like, hey, I'm god awful as support, does anybody want to trade roles? And like, you know, there's a lot of times where it's like, you know what, I'd rather take that role than have somebody that's going to have a bad attitude or just not be good in that role. I'd rather swap with them, but they don't really have the proper way to do it. And I know you can do it by selecting certain items, but it's just kind of like trusting someone to be able to pick the right one. And I also know that like Paladins had this whole thing where you could like pick characters for your friends and then swap characters. And like, I don't think that's really a big deal if they wanted to do that. So I don't think that one, I don't care much about that one. I just think being able to switch roles would be really good. And I just think it fix a lot of toxicity that players have, because there's people who will completely throw your match if they don't get a role that they want. And it's like, I know that sucks and it's not fair, but I'd rather play a role I don't want to play than have someone just be throwing. So I feel like having the option to just let the baby be a baby rather than, you know, dealing with it. But anyways, let's move to the third point. So this is another thing that I stole from a game. I know that they have it in Deadlock, but I think it'd be a good thing to have, like if someone disconnects, to have the option to pause the game and wait for the person to reconnect. And this will kind of go along with the next thing I'm going to bring up as well, but I'm going to leave that for point 4 and we'll talk about it more back there. But it can be really detrimental to your game if someone disconnects for like 5 minutes. It takes them like 5 minutes to come back into the game. It can kind of really ruin your game and put them behind. And I just like, I don't know. I play a lot of Legion Tower Defense in Warcraft 3 custom games, and they have a lot of like honor. I think that's the best way to put it, where if someone like disconnects, like you have a system where people will be fair and like if someone's AFK, they'll pause and nobody minds like waiting. And it's a really good community actually. That, speaking of that, but that's a different subject. I just think it'd be really good to have like an option to pause, or like if there's any other reason, like somebody has an emergency and they need to pause, and then while you're in the pause menu to be able to, I think it'd be a lot of problems with it, but be able to tell the other team why you're pausing. And so they can decide whether you're just trolling or it's like, oh, we had somebody disconnect, let's give them like a few minutes to come back and to see if they're going to come back or not. But I think that'd be a really good thing to have because, like I said, it can really put somebody behind and just give one team like a really huge advantage when they have a character that has just been having full control of the lane without any problems for even 5 minutes. So this is what I was talking about in that Legion Tower Defense game where you could pause the game and give somebody a chance to come back from being AFK. And if they don't, a lot of times like they'll have like high honor and you could just have a draw. Like you just say draw and then you can go to a new game and nobody loses. They call it ELO in that game, but it'd be in this case it'd be VP. It's like neither team would lose VP and you're just like, okay, we're just gonna call it a draw. We all go back, we can get into a good game. I do realize that the game has a lot of toxicity, and the enemy team would rather have a 5v4 than have a draw where they wouldn't lose any elo points, but they wouldn't get any either. So I feel like it'd be kind of need some work, like maybe have it to where they'll get a little bit of elo, not as much, but then they can go get into an actual good game. And like I don't know, in the Legion Tower Defense, the reason they have it and the reason that everybody does it is because it's not as fun to just have a game where it's super easy because you're gonna win if because you have an extra player. And I just feel like if you could find a way to manage that, I think it could be really good for the game. And another thing that the Legion does, if somebody leaves the match, like just gets mad and leaves the match, what it does is it makes it so everybody else will have their either well elo or VP. They'll get their elo back and they won't lose anything, but that person who left would, and they'll actually lose double the points. And I just think that's kind of fun. But anyways, I was just trying to come up with ways to fix the whole people getting mad and going AFK or trying to throw. And I wish you'd be able to vote kick people as well. Actually, maybe I just should add that with this or have that as a separate one on its own. But I wish you could vote kick someone and then draw, and then that person will just like lose points, and then everyone else won't. And I don't know. I feel like there would be a way for people to abuse that, so it would need work, but just like something along that line. So I think I discussed this in an earlier video, but I feel like the practice map really needs an update and work with it. And that might be because I'm biased as a creator and a lot of stuff I do, it'd make my life a lot easier if they were to add some stuff to it. The first thing that I'd want is them just make the practice map to be like a full map. The first reason I want that is because like for my time trials video, I kind of want to add more like to it to test stuff out. And the only way I can do it right now is in a bot lobby, which isn't a big deal, but sometimes the bots like kind of interfere with your time trial when you're trying to time like a route. But if they also added like a full map, I wish they'd make it so you can like have like full control over like I can select which characters are on my team, which team enemies are on the enemy team, and just like have like a full control of what's going on in the map. The next thing that I'd want added to the practice map is being able to switch characters without having to go all the way back to the menu. When I did my furthest dash video, it was kind of annoying having to go back to the menu every time because it's like a 3-minute delay every time I want to switch characters. I'd like to do more videos kind of like that, like maybe figuring out who has the best poke, who has the best combos for abilities, and like testing out a bunch of stuff like that. But it's like it's just so annoying to switch characters in between each time, and there's so many characters now, it takes so much time out of the day. I'd also like to see them make a way so you can have a friend join you and be on the other team, and for two reasons for this: so that you can like just face each other for fun, maybe do some 1v1s and stuff like that, but also to make it so you could test some stuff out. Like there's been a couple of times where I'm just playing by myself, not recording or anything, where I go to the transporter and somebody tries to follow me and I back off of it and it sends them away and I stay. I'd like to have my brother join me in like a lobby and we could just try to figure out a way to work with that to see if we can find some tactics with it, but it's kind of impossible to do right at this moment. Just to gauge interest in a video idea I had that would go along with what I'm saying, but I want to see what level each character can solo Fangtooth, especially jungle characters, and just see like at what level can you face Fangtooth by yourself and what items do you need, and just figuring all that out. But like I said, that's kind of a nightmare to do when you have to go back to the menu every single time and it takes so much time to do. So if you'd like to see a video like that, let me know in the comments and I'll go through it and suffer through it for the science. But with that being said, let me know if there's any video ideas that you have. There's something that you want me to test out, like the time trials, or if there's anything like I missed in the time trials you want to see how long, if it's faster to go one route or another, or if there's anything that you want me to find out, like the Fangtooth idea or Prime even. Just let me know what you want to see, and I'll go through the struggles of figuring it out. And hopefully in the future they'll make it easier for me to do that. Anyways, be sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't, and we will see you guys next time. Thank you.